What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on channel GBoo2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe right now as we get ready to kick this into high gear. Hope your Thanksgiving was great. I had plenty of food to eat, still to eat these leftovers. Uh, I got to touch up. We've got four people coming into the watching the show right now. We're going to try and see if we get some more people. Come on in, come on in. We're not going to be long today, but I like to have as many people as come in to this chat to discuss this and get your thoughts about what's going on recently with the Kevin Hart comments. Kevin Hart and Tariq Nasheed. I was going to talk about that a little bit. You all get a taste of that. It's been a while since I've had a video drop. Some people may have been inquiring why I haven't dropped a video late recently. I've just had honestly, been busy and I've had some technical difficulties that I've been trying to work out here with my computer. So, um, to answer your question, I'll try and work on it. Peace to the fam. That's what Jay Harris of the Jay Harris Podcast Show said. What's up, brother? How you doing? We got some more people that can come on in this chat if we can get some more people to come on in right now. Come on, come on, come on, come one, come all. Because we got to discuss this thing that's been going on right now, fam. And also, I want you guys, if you could, to check out the Patreon that I have. It was in my description. The Patreon, of course, account is the best way. You got one of the best ways you can support me. You could also hit up my Cash App, GavinRichardEsq, and Google Pay at gavin.grich1 at gmail.com, gavin.grich1 at gmail.com. Anybody that's going to check out the fight tonight, I'm just curious, with Roy Jones and Mike Tyson. Anybody ordered the fight? I probably will watch it just because it's a nostalgic feeling. Like I've noticed a lot of people. What's up, Julia? A lot of people, a lot of things have longing for things in the past from like the 80s and 90s. You know, of course, you've seen movies like the Indiana Jones series. They're bringing that back. You know, of course, I think Harrison Ford is supposed to play Indy, but I mean, how long is Harrison Ford going to be playing Indiana? They're revitalizing old TV shows that have come back. They revived those, like, um, of course, they had the reunion, uh, the reunion for the Fresh Prince that came out. They also have what else has come out? You've also had revivals of some shows from the late 80s, like Twin Peaks and so forth. So there's a nostalgia, a feeling for those times. And I think, especially in the 80s and 90s, the 90s for me, because I remember the 90s more than I do the 80s. I was a 80s baby. I was born in 86, 87, 86. So I certainly don't remember everything back then. Saved by the Bell has come back. Yeah, I think they're doing a Punky Brewster remake as well, or not a remake, but a sequel that's going to be on Peacock that they are developing, where she's now a mom of three, which is interesting. Yeah, Saved by the Bell is coming back. I saw Zach is the governor of California, which might explain why California now is in a bad place anyway with some of their laws. But that's just me. I no shade against people in California, but damn. But yeah, they're reviving those shows. I mean, look, Roseanne even came back, and I don't watch that anyway. But we're gonna get into it, guys. Come on in, come one, come in all. Of course, those of you who follow me, you know that I like to talk about current things that are going on. So those that know me personally know that I'm big on stand up comedy, being that I've performed stand up myself. And I remember when Kevin Hart was coming up, when he started having his big specials, like the Let Me Explain, I'm a Grown Little Man, Seriously Funny, around mid 2000s. I think was that first special he did with Comedy Central. I'm a grown little man, and he did another special. I'm still a grown little man, or something like that. And then he started to do Seriously Funny and Let Me Explain, a few other specials. Uh, Seriously Funny to me was his best special that he did, bar none. And of course, Kevin has been in the news lately. He's done movies, of course, like Ride Along, Laugh at My Pain, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. Um, the Think Like a Man too, that series. He's in Jumanji. He's in all these types of movies. I'm not trying to say this to be disparaging, but he's the go-to Negro in Hollywood for comedy, for jokes. Freedom for James Bond, who's been in prison for James Bond's who's been in prison for 20 years for a crime he didn't commit. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. And what's up, Brian? What's up to everybody in the chat? And so Kevin, getting back to my point is that Kevin, of course, he's been, like I said, the Negro that everybody goes to. And that's not to be ugly against Kevin, because I like Kevin Hart. I've heard he looks out for a lot of people, especially in his entourage. He's given them houses, from what Corey Holcomb has talked about. He's looked out and taken care of his people. This is not a shade at him, but those that know that Kevin Hart and Tariq Nasheed recently have had a back and forth where Tariq made some comments on Kevin's latest comedy special. Now, Kevin, of course, had some scandals. He had his car accident. So he's gone, he got, I'm going to say this, he got forced out of the Oscars, hosting the Oscars, because uh, he basically made some jokes about LGBTQ from 2010. And keep in mind, in 2019, they decided to actually come at and go at Kevin Hart. Remember, Kevin Hart was not allowed to. They didn't want him hosting the Oscars. I remember when Brett Ratner and Eddie Murphy were supposed to do the Oscars, and Brett Ratner made some jokes, or he didn't make any jokes. He flat out made a racial. I'm sorry. He said the word faggot, I believe, while they were rehearsing for the Oscar ceremony. Let me just confirm that, but I believe it was something along those lines. And he was forced to step down from producing the Oscars, and Eddie Murphy backed out of it. Now, I'm bringing all of this up because Kevin, of course, remember, he got forced out of hosting the Oscars over that joke. And even Ellen DeGeneres came to support him over that uh, comment that he made. This was the 84th Academy Awards. He was supposed to host it with uh, Eddie Murphy. He was supposed to produce it, and Eddie was scheduled to be the host. And they wanted a new production team. Eddie didn't want to do that. So Eddie Murphy got replaced by Billy Crystal, who was the previous host of the Oscars. Now, yeah, so he said that right here. After marking that rehearsal is for fags. Those are his words. That's not mine. Just for anybody that knows. And so Kevin, of course, back in 2010, he made a joke. Just like, remember, they did this with Tracy Morgan too. Tracy Morgan made some jokes about his son being gay, what would happen, and they forced him to apologize. Right? I've noticed they always force you to apologize that you for stuff that he says or didn't say, even though they're supposed to be jokes, it's supposed to be funny, ha ha ha. You make going back 11, 10 years ago to try and attack someone and try and cancel them. You see, cancel culture is dangerous. It's dangerous because there's no limit, number one, as to what needs to go, what's decent, what's not, what should be our standards, and what's funny and what shouldn't be said on the stand-up stage. One thing they tell you is that on the stage, stand-up stage, everything is sacred. It's the First Amendment. It's about saying what's on your mind, and it's about leading your audience into your cerebral vortex. into making them laugh. So Kevin made those jokes from those are some tweets that he made in 2010, 2011. He said those protesting that it was non-constructive and stated if you don't believe people change, grow as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. He tweeted an apology on December 7th following criticism that he didn't issue one on the previous day. And then on January 3rd, he was going to reconsider stepping down as a host, but he ultimately decided that he was not going to host the ceremony. And this is even after Ellen DeGeneres came out and express support for him. And she asked the Academy to do it, and he said no. And I stood with Kevin with that because um, I felt that Kevin was basically correct in his assumption. You guys can't read that. I'm sorry. I got to zoom in with this stuff. But I felt that Kevin caught a bad break. I certainly think if they can't take a joke, then that's on them. I mean, it's like what Dave Chappelle did with his Sticks and Stones special. Remember, they actually did not like what they criticized Dave Chappelle for jokes he's made in that documentary where he talked about, or that comedy special, where he talked about how it was okay for him on Chappelle's show to say the N word, say nigger, but could not say faggot or queer or any other word. And he noticed, and Judge Joe Brown and I, the judge, he's particular talked about that, how they could say everything else, but you can't say that. Although they have television shows like Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Although that may be, you can say that's a parody, but they really push things like that. The other thing I can tell you too, one of the things they did, they mocked Kevin with a, well, I'm not going to say with a award, well, with a statue. Excuse me, wasn't an award. The statue of Kevin Hart in a gold-plated suit holding a rainbow flag, and that was in 2019. And this is a picture of it. This was made by a artist by the name of two street artists, Plastic Jesus and Joshua Ginger Monroe. That tells you a lot. And they put, okay, they removed that picture, but you can actually look at it. Let me see, online, because I was trying to show you from an article right here. But let me show you the actual picture that you can see here. This is on, okay, this was on, this is the actual picture. Okay, that's the statue that they had of Kevin Hart. And I bring all of this up because when this came out, I remember Tariq Nasheed coming to Kevin's defense. Tariq certainly came at Kevin's defense because that picture of Kevin Hart, a short statue, they did that basically to insult Kevin and make fun of him and basically and essentially try to emasculate the brother. Because Kevin Hart, most of his jokes, a lot of people say the same thing because Jaleel is saying that I've never found Kevin that funny. Uh, I'm not going to say that because I respect all comedians. I think he is funny, some in some aspects, but that's me. Everybody doesn't feel the same way as Gavin Richard. Now, I mean, my father, he told me personally he doesn't think Chris Rock is that funny. There are people that don't think Chris Rock is that funny. There are people that think, I heard this before, that Mike Epps is funny in his movies, but on his stand up, he ain't shit. There are people that believe that. And remember, Mike Epps and Kevin Hart and Cat Williams have all had a Twitter beef go on before. Cat has been critical of Kevin Hart. Basically, I think it has something to do with Kevin stealing his thunder a little bit. Although I find Cat Williams to be 10 times funnier than Kevin Hart. Honestly, that's just because I like Cat Williams' style. Cat certainly could have gone further, but I know that he He may have had his personal issues, but I also know that Cat didn't want to put on no dress for any man. Dave Chappelle wanted to. They came at Dave Chappelle for the movie Blue Streak, wanted him to get in the dress like he told Oprah, and he said, "No, I'm not doing that." Although I've seen Dave Chappelle when he did Robin Hood Men in Tights with Mel Brooks, and I'm just being fair. Dave was playing the Muslim character, the Moor, and if I'm not mistaken, there was it wasn't necessarily may have been a dress, but it was like a gown of some sorts. But I've never seen him put on a dress pretending to be a woman. Dave has never done that to my knowledge. Kevin did it in that SNL sketch. I remember that vividly, and I remember um, Chris Rock. Of course, he's been in a dress, and uh, Kevin Hart's partner in crime, because he's done several movies with him. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He's been in the Tooth Fairy. He put a tutu on. So they have a fixation in Hollywood. It's almost like you put on a dress, you get to make all this money. And I remember Kevin was spoofing a little girl from that movie that was shot here in Louisiana. Whether I can't think of it. If you guys know the name of the movie, where I think she was called. It was called Where the Wild Things Are, if I'm not mistaken. Or I might be. I don't watch those movies, but she was the youngest actress, little black girl, beautiful girl. She's actually from Houma, Louisiana. Uh, Her last name is Walls. It starts with a Q. I'm sorry, sweetheart, if you're out there, if you watch this video. Guys, if you know her name, put it in the description. I don't want to say it's on the tip of my tongue, but I think she played Annie, if I'm not mistaken, with Jamie Foxx. Well, at any rate, uh, I remember them getting back to this because I get off topic. They, of course, did this with Kevin Hart, and Tariq Nasheed defended him. Now, recently, from what if you guys know, uh, Kevin came out, did a new special. Kevin, of course, has been dealing with issues from the car accident that he suffered in. He had to have surgery. He's had all of these scandals, like cheating scandals, adultery scandals with his wife that he's apologized for. Uh, Apparently he alleged he was the victim of an extortion attempt, but they actually ended up, and it was all featured on Comedy Hype News that what didn't happen. His charges were dismissed. That was Jonathan Jackson. Uh, he broke his silence on it recently when he spoke. Those charges were dropped back in December of last year, and he's he skates on two more charges. Now, two of the three remaining charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence. Now, I hate pulling up and quoting TMZ, and I'm not here to go back and look at anything that's dealing with Kevin, but I just want to show you that where you guys can look at it. So, yeah, I think his charges were ultimately dismissed, but they were trying to say, his attorney says, we've maintained his innocence. We've maintained innocence since day one. As things have unfolded, our beliefs have been confirmed. We will continue to fight this until Mr. Jackson's name is clear. That was Jacob Glucksman. Now you can go to Comedy Hype News, and uh, you can also look at this online. But these were all things that have come out in the last few months. Our sister, shout out to Queen Shakur, by the way. She had me on her show Wednesday. I appreciate that. She's done a video about it. Her live stream is focused on that. So I want to get into the comedy special, though. But, he's had all of those things happen. That's why I brought this up. Now, Tariq, of course, he doesn't hold punches when he gave his criticism of it. He wasn't ugly with Kevin, but he essentially said that he did not find the comedy special to be funny. He didn't find it funny. Uh, and he even said Kevin Hart is a nice guy. I like him. But Kevin took note and apparently did not like um, what Tariq had to say. So I want to show you all the clip of Kevin Hart. This is from his radio program that he made back in, I think, earlier this week. So this is not old. And you can see here, let me just show you the tweets that they have exchanged back and forth. Now, this is from Tariq's page. Uh, Kevin, of course, stated, please remind me why your feedback should matter again. I think I've done pretty well for myself by doing this comedy that's not funny. Good luck to you and whatever it is that you do, though. Power to the people. Which I think was a little jab because Tariq is into the, is pro, foundational Black Americans and pro Blacks. But Tariq made the comment, I like Kevin Hart, real cool guy, but his new Netflix stand up special, Zero F's Given, was not funny. I had to just cut it off after 10 minutes. Now, here's my thing. Who cares what this white man says, talking about trolls on Twitter that want to put their 2 cents in. Here, Tariq is not a troll. Tariq is somebody uh, who has a following. Tariq has over 268,000 followers. Of course, he doesn't have as many followers as Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart has 36,500,000 followers on Twitter. And he has earned his money. So I'm not mad at Kevin. And Kevin typically, what I've noticed, and I see what a lot of people are saying, is that he typically plays, this is to what Jaleel was saying earlier, he plays the same character essentially in all of his movies. He's always uh, the little man with the Napoleon complex. He's always angry and showing off. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I like some of what he's done. I love the Ride Along movies. I thought that was hella funny. I think that he did with Ice Cube. I thought that his movie he did with Tiffany Haddish, Night School. I didn't think that was great. I thought that sucked. I'm being real, and I can offer that criticism because I'm an American, and also because it's money. At the end of the day, people are not going to always like what you do. The public, whether you like it or not, when you're in the public eye, people will criticize you for every little thing. And whether it's fair or not, some of it is warranted. Yeah, and some things are not warranted. Yes, they got trolls that are out here that look to bring you down and just don't like you because they just don't like you. But there are others who criticize and have a right to their opinion because they pay their money to watch it. Tariq Nasheed has a Netflix subscription just like I had and watched the special. I tuned in and I saw the special myself, and I'm going to give my analysis of it. I didn't think it was his best work. I didn't think it was Kevin's best work. I thought that my favorite one that he did probably would have been seriously funny when he had Shaq and LeBron in the audience and he made fun of how Shaq falls down. I thought that was hella funny. I thought the joke he did about the older man in the car, with the mirror, changing the mirror, I thought that was fun. In this special, I could tell there were some things I liked that were cool, but there were some things I think a lot of people uh, thought that Kevin would have gone in hard about like his extortion scandal that happened. Like he would have just came out and hit it. Um, you know, a lot of and people don't realize this too. Comedy is not something easy to do. There's no money in comedy. Unless you're a TV host, you've been on television multiple times, you got movie deals, you're not going to make a lot of money doing stand up. And especially right now, it's hard to make any money from it because everything is shut down. There's a pandemic. There are some comedians and something that they can do where they can do remote specials and so forth that they've been doing. But other than that, it's not something that's very lucrative. It hinges on whether you get a big break and someone takes a liking to you and you work your way up. That's essentially what it is. I have nothing against Kevin Hart personally. Like I said again, I respect his work and what he's done, but I didn't think it was all that. I just didn't think it was all that. His special wasn't that great. It's not to say that he's not, like I say again, not a good guy. But and Tariq was saying this, and I don't think Tariq was being ugly with the man, with Kevin Hart, but Kevin obviously took it to heart, literally, because he had to keep going on it over and again when he brought it up on his radio program. And this was Tariq's response. Peace, Kevin. I think my feedback matters because I have a subscription to Netflix. And two, I want you to continue to succeed. But in this latest special, it seemed like you were aware that you couldn't be too edgy because you have to avoid potential backlash. But that's just me. Well, I don't think it's just Tariq. I think a lot of other people feel the same way. People that I've talked to that just say, well, they just think Kevin didn't want to go too hard uh, on certain things, especially upsetting LGBTQ because that cost him the Oscars. Now, what is interesting is that I'm looking now online, and y'all can look this up too. But Kevin has actually got people uh, backlash over his latest special. You won't believe for this reason. Okay, he's getting backlash because of the joke he made about calling his daughter uh, a hoe. Now, if you watch the special, let me hit that like and share and subscribe button, guys, and please donate to the channel. Now, at the links below. Now, that's the actual. So, Kevin is responding to the backlash after he called his daughter a hoe, defending his joke, saying he will not apologize. As weeks goes by, Dad, I don't like Rob no more. I like this boy named Tim. Instantly in my mind, I said, my daughter is a hoe. This is hoe shit. This is hoe shit. Whole activity right in front of my face. And he was criticized by some people saying he was bringing down black men and black women and demeaning his daughter. But he defended his joke. Okay, I hate when ads play. This is all right. So that was something he was criticized for, and then another thing he was criticized for was that he dressed his newborn baby. He responded to backlash. His newborn baby girl, and people, like I said again, people look for shit to criticize. That's his wife, and she's taller than him. Lord, that's his wife, and his daughter Oari, he got slammed for her onesie outfit and which was profanity laced. And this is a cute baby. If you guys could see, that was her onesie that she was wearing. Very cute kid. So, I mean, people are just looking for something to criticize uh, people on. Now, Jaleel says, I feel Kevin can't take constructive criticism. I don't get him. He's talking down on Tariq about bringing down each other, but it's okay when he does it. No, Kevin, don't work like that. Yes, that's true. There are some people that I think just can't take criticism. I mean, I've been criticized for stuff that I have said, um, on stage or work that I've done. And some of it may be warranted. Either you take it or you don't. Uh, I've if somebody's rude to me in how they explain something, or they were trying to be ugly with me with regards to their criticism, then I'll let their ass know. But some of it, criticism that I've gotten, some things may have been helpful because it helped my game. It helped me become better. There are some aspects to it. Even when I was in law school, when you got called out by a teacher, uh, by a professor on some stuff, it helped me be better, especially if I was doing some oral arguments, mock oral arguments, because when you go in front of a judge, you're going to have to be prepared and know what you're talking about. So when they offered their criticism, although some stuff I could tell, I had professors who were just being assholes. You can tell that the difference between those who are assholes and those that care about you. Um, I feel the same way even in this game of comedy. But there are people who I think really, you can tell the difference. And I don't think Tariq was being an asshole. I think he was just giving an honest opinion. And he, mind you, I don't think he tagged Kevin Hart in his tweet. So for Kevin, and you're going to hear this video, for Kevin to even respond saying why your feedback should matter again tells me that he knows who Tariq Nasheed is. So I want y'all to listen to this video, okay? Listen carefully. It's got 47,000 views. This is from Tariq's feed. But Kevin was trying to respond to Tariq without mentioning his name because he mentioned who he responded to in regards to this special.
Yeah,
Nah,
I didn't like that. Yeah,
I'm not gonna put it. I'm not gonna say the dude's name because we don't want to give him any attention. But there's a guy who, I guess you decided
Oh, his
to
co-host said
address him out of all people because he has a decent amount of he has a decent following.
He don't have a decent following, not to that knowledge. I addressed it. And
well, if that was somebody that had 200 followers, you would have ignored it.
It was. We're not going to bring attention to it, but I'm notorious for one. I've always have been. Can we agree on that? Like for one response,
at least,
at least, I'm notorious for one.
Mm-hmm.
What the or whatever. This was my one, but it annoyed me because of who the person was supposed to be and what that person was supposed to stand for.
But
it wasn't even.
He said nice things about you.
I know, but it just in general, and I don't want to bring attention to it because I'm giving him clout by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I was annoyed that you're doing the complete opposite of what the your thing represents. It wasn't even about the special. It was more about just him. Overall, I got annoyed. You know what I'm saying? Like I got annoyed by that. And
the platform is for black people.
Yeah, it was annoyance on that level, just like what we were talking about before we even started the show today. Like the same level of annoyance that I had with that, I had with this situation. But Naeem, when you checked me, did I give you any pushback, or did I not throw in a white flag and immediately agree? You're absolutely right.
No, you agreed, but I mean, you are one of the leaders of this new school, the social media thing, and you've done well with ignoring the criticism.
All
and I specifically have had to follow suit because my show gets trashed. I mean, it gets trashed mostly on this show. It don't really get trashed, So I mean, I look at the hashtag.
All right, so you listen to that, and one of the things it said Kevin said, and I don't know whose co-host is, but we don't want to give him any clout. He doesn't have any. He don't have a following. Kevin said he doesn't have a decent following. I just showed you earlier that Tariq has over 268,000 Twitter followers. So he certainly 62,000. Excuse me. So that's a pretty decent following. Now, if you compare it to a Kevin Hart, uh, obviously who has over 35 million or 36 million, of course, he is a more. I'm not going to say. Well, let's say this: he has a larger following because he's in the movies. People know his name more than they know Tariq Nasheed. He's a crossover artist, essentially. That's why he has, a larger following, obviously, than Tariq. Then I would say that. So compared to him, yeah, his amount may be inconsequential, but does that mean that Tariq Nasheed doesn't have a right to his opinion or anyone else? And it seems like these guys can't, especially in Hollywood, they have ego problems where they cannot take constructive criticism. Because if he didn't think my special was funny, then I would work on, while I may be disappointed that he didn't find it funny, because those guys, let's be real, comedians, what keeps us going is the reaction from the public. When the public tells you they love this joke, when they laugh at everything that you do, when they laugh at your set, you know you've done something right because you feel wanted. Most comedians, I'll say a lot of comedians, they all like the idea of, or have that essential idea of being loved. Comedians are actually some of the saddest people you'll meet. Uh, Hell, Richard Pryor is a perfect example of that. Throughout his whole life, he had a tough childhood growing up in a brothel, being raised by his grandmother, who was a madam. She ran that brothel. His mother was a prostitute. His father was a pimp. He didn't have an easy life. It's known he abused drugs and alcohol. His relationships with women were were extreme. His appetites were extreme. But the opposite side of that tragedy was comedy. And he used it to his advantage. And he used it and he made, a hell of a amount of jokes, a lot of money being in films and movies. I know in his later years, he started to get ill. And of course, after the incident where he lit himself on fire back in 1980, June of 1980. That was a time, for him where he had to go through deep recovery, and even the qualities of his movies weren't the same. You could tell some of the movies he played, weren't great, like The Toy and Some Kind of Hero. He had some flops, but I still loved him in Superman 3. I still loved him, especially when I was a little kid, because I didn't know better when watching The Toy, but he got criticized for that movie. But I still love Richard Pryor. He's still the greatest stand-up comedian to ever live, between him and George Carlin and Lenny Bruce, as well as I'll give some honorary names out there. Red Fox, too. He doesn't get a lot of credit for things he did because he broke barriers for comedians at that time in the 40s and 50s, when you couldn't obviously curse and say things of that nature, and Red had to do uh, different kinds of sets for different audiences, and he didn't become popular until he was damn near 50 years old. Now it's easier when you have the internet, because you can become if your video goes viral, Netflix or Hulu may call you and think you could do a scene in a movie. I've seen that happen. We have Vine and Instagram stars who get movie deals because they got uh 4 million views on this video. I mean, someone that did an impression of Trump, some lady, she got a comedy special on Netflix. She signed a deal for that. And I'll tell you this, the comedians that are funny are the ones you will never see on the radio, or you'll never see on television. especially those that are hungry, that don't have the monies like the Kevin Harts or Dave Chappelle or Eddie Murphy. They're not going to get that same type of, let's just say, exposure. Those are the funniest people I've ever seen. Like one guy, guys, you don't know, he's passed on, unfortunately. Rom Ramey. This guy was a writer for On In Living Color. He wrote on the Bernie Mac show, wrote for Drew Carey, uh, and he came to Baton Rouge, and I tore myself laughing at his set. He did a whole hour. He did a whole hour tearing you up with laughter, with jokes, just one and producing a laugh every 5 to 8 seconds. That's not something easy to do. So when I say comedy is subjective, it is, because everybody is not going to agree with everything you say. That's just the bottom line. Everybody's not going to find your stuff funny, and that's because some people, some comedians, they appeal to a certain demographic. Ellen DeGeneres, I don't find Ellen DeGeneres funny at all. Personally, I think the only reason why she keeps getting, uh, you know, forgiven and keeps having those TV shows. And you saw how she got exposed for her behavior. A lot of people have said that. Judge has been on the program talking about how she talked ugly to him, talking about you need to wear your robe, not being funny. She was just outright mean, and it came out that she's a fucking meanie. But she keeps getting. Won't be long before the industry gives her another job. They didn't cancel her show. She has low ratings. Her ratings are not high, but she's part of that alphabet crew. And because they, like showing images like that, that demographic, as a very small demographic that supports her, she's going to continue to get more and more opportunities. I know black people that didn't find Seinfeld funny. If you ask any black person if they've seen average black person, if they've seen an episode of Seinfeld, they'll tell you flat out, no. I never liked that shit. Especially Thursday nights when Seinfeld would come on versus Martin in the 90s. Martin was on our household, every household. Every black household had Martin on. 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. It was pizza night at the Richard residence. 6 o'clock, we order our pizza. By 6:30, by 7 o'clock, the pizza's here. We're watching it. Do I think Leslie Jones is funny? Leslie Jones is actually a Facebook friend. But and she may see this. I have not honestly watched the stand-up show that Leslie Jones has done. I haven't watched it. I think Leslie. I saw the Ghostbusters movie, and this is not against Leslie. Even when she hosted BT, I didn't think she was funny. I wasn't. I wasn't impressed with it. That's not a knock against them, against her. I remember she went through a lot of criticism and outright bigotry, some remarks that were thrown at her because she was in the Ghostbusters movie, and she faced a lot of flack for that. But the Ghostbusters movie in general that came out in 2016 was a flop because it was basically recycled material. It wasn't well written. It was over budget. They had all former Saturday Night Live cast members, like they did with the original Ghostbusters, but it was a virtual remake, but just in a female version of the Ghostbusters. And especially when you have one black character who's a Ghostbuster and the other three white characters, it was clear what they were doing because Leslie's character was supposed to be Winston, and the others were, of course, Bill Murray and uh, Dan Aykroyd and Hal Ramis. So, and I mean, look, it takes going out writing material too. But you got to keep in mind as well, Jaleel, we're in a pandemic. So open mics are limited right now and when you can do stand up as far as getting in front of an audience. Uh, there may be some that may be open, but here in New Orleans, I don't know where you're at, Jaleel, but I mean, we've gone back to phase 2. In Louisiana has gone back to phase 2 in general in different states. They all have gone back, but it's a matter of going back writing and stuff like that. I'm supposed to be featured doing a set actually sometime next week, this Saturday actually coming. And I'm just gonna go with it. That's all I can do. That's all you can do with this stuff. So hopefully it'll be great. But again, it's about the only way you're gonna know something works is when you get on stage. It's like doing a magic trick. There gotta be some that like it, some that'll be nice and will applaud you, some that are flat out gonna be ugly, and that's unfortunately the nature of our business. But I didn't find, but no, I didn't find this special to be Kevin's greatest, and Tariq, like he's been handling it professionally because Tariq really could go and take the gloves off if he wanted to go at Kevin. And Tariq's not even a comedian, and I've laughed harder at a lot of stuff he's done. Especially when he does the Roland Mark, Rolly, the Boule Bird. Welcome to TV1. I laugh all the time at that. And he's not a comedian. So it's just based off what you like, which is what all comedy is about. It's subjective. It is a subjective field. It's not easy. Like I said, if it were, everybody would be doing it. But I know people that don't like uh, Mike Epps, that don't think he's funny. People that don't think Chris Rock is funny. So it depends on what you guys like. But you guys leave a comment for those that are checking out the live stream. I said I wasn't going to be long, so I'm about to get on out of here. I got to get ready to go somewhere. But you guys be safe, be blessed. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe. Donate to this channel, Gavin Richard Esquire, at the Google Pay and Cash App links that you see there. That's Cash link. That's Cash App, Gavin Richard Esquire, and Google Pay Gavin.grich1@gmail.com. So let me know what you think. Your comedy is hit and miss. Well, something Bruce told me once. He said, stand up is not hard. You just got to be in the right place. Um, you got to be in Atlanta, Los Angeles, or New York. New York, actually, he said, was the best place. It's just that I prefer not to live on the streets because everything right now is expensive. But if you got a dream, you got to pursue it, and you got to be willing to go all the way with it, no matter what you do. But just you guys stay safe, be blessed, and just keep up at it. Whatever your dreams are, don't let anybody tell you differently. But Jaleel, I'll see you in the next one, and those that were in the YouTube channel from Jay Harris Podcast, Brian Ponder, and a few others. I thank y'all for tuning in. This has been another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on channel G Boot 2786. I'll holler. Oh, on another note, I want you guys to, before I go, y'all tune in this Tuesday, December 1st. That's right, December 1st. I will be on with the lovely Nicole from Nicole's View. We will be discussing the Bill Cosby uh, case that's coming up. Bill Cosby's case, of course, is being set for a hearing before the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. Its appeals are going to be live streamed via Zoom, and Nicole is going to be giving some commentary on it as well as I. And you guys do not want to miss that. Most people who missed the Bill Cosby case hadn't followed it. They went on what the national media was telling them. And I think it was important for them to actually look at what uh, the merits of this case now, because you will see it in the courtroom. I'm hoping that this woman his attorneys will do a great job. They apparently, they seem like they're well prepared. I would hope so, but y'all tune in This is the hearing date, December 1st, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Drew Story News will be there. Shout out to Drew. Shout out to Nicole. You guys don't want to miss that. Y'all tune in. Uh, Free Bill Cosby. That's right, Julia. Speaking of comedians, we're talking about comedy. That's one of the comedy icons, the OGs, that really we need to talk about. So y'all tune in. Be safe. Be blessed. And I'll see you all in the next one. I'll holla. Peace.